Hello everyone and welcome back to Wake It Up Wednesdays, where today I'm going to be talking about my first experience at Steamworks Chicago.
No.
To open up this video, I am someone who throughout my years used to criticize people that would go to Steamworks because it just made me uncomfortable, the idea of it. I just felt like it was such a sexually risque thing to do that I would, get uncomfortable, and I used to judge people for it. But after my experience at Steamworks, I can absolutely say that I actually, I kind of had fun. I've been missing out a little bit. Like, I'm 31. I entered the gay scene at 27, and since then, I've had a lot of growth happen very rapidly since I've been out here. I'll say like maybe 30 is when I actually fully started embracing queer culture and being in the gay scene. So Steamworks was kind of always going to be last on my list of things to do when it came to just being out in Boys Town and the gay area and just exploring. But yeah, so let's get into it. So to start my night, I definitely started somewhere else. I had plans on, I wanted to go to Steamworks. I just didn't know when it was going to happen, but the sensation was calling me this night. It was calling me. I needed to experience what it was giving, and I had work the next day, so I just, in my brain, I said, you know what, I might be calling off. Like, we are probably gonna be calling off because I feel like I need to get as much as I can out of this experience. So going into it, I started at Progress. I was having a good ass night. I had a bomb ass time. Progress has been one of my favorite bars to go to recently because the music is always good. I get love from the bartenders, and I just be feeling good. I be doing my big one. Also, sorry, there's someone unloading a truck outside, so excuse the harsh sounds. I'll try to edit them out as I can. And also, I just took my braids out, so my hair's a little bit wacky, but I kind of like it. But yeah, so left Progress, I said, and I was with my friends. I was like, I feel like I'm gonna separate with y'all. I have to I want to go to Steamworks. I'm going to Steamworks tonight. And one thing I've been trying to be more open about is being open about the shit that I want to do and not caring about being judged and stuff. So I didn't feel any type of way about just being outward about that. Obviously, I didn't expect my friends to come with me, so I went. The line was long as fuck, but once we got in there, I immediately was nervous because, I was about to be naked and vulnerable. So I got in there, got my towel, I was walking around, I said, oh, okay. It's like circuity music playing right now. Walking, and I see the doors and then the stairs, and I just see random men, a lot of older men, which was just not my vibe. That's not what I was trying to get into. I wanted to see some, what they call, what the young ones call them, they call them the fine chits. I wanted to find some fine chits. So I went towards where I saw people showering, and I was like, okay, let me shower first because I'm a cleanly nigga, so I really like to get into that. So I got in the shower, started showering. I was like, just washing off. And then I was like, okay, there's hot tubs over there, and that sounds very relaxing, and that probably is where I want to start. So I immediately got into the hot jacuzzi area. I walked in, I sat down, I was like, okay, this is nice. I was like, damn, even if I don't have sex, this is nice. What, for $27, I get to vibe in a jacuzzi and all day while being lit, which I ain't never experienced before. But let's get into the juicy stuff. So I was sitting there for a good 5 minutes, and immediately I had already saw the eyes were on me. There was one black guy that came over and was just checking my temperature, and we ended up making out. But I just knew that this was not who I wanted to do anything with. So we just made out. It was sexy, and someone else tried to come over, and I was like, let me get out of here. So I got out and started walking through the steam room. So in the steam room, I just saw people engaging in adult fun time, having a good time, vibing, and I was like, this is cool, but don't see anything from me yet. So I was just walking around. It smelled like bad Fleet water at one section, and I said, oh, someone's not cleaned out correctly. And I feel like some people be thinking that chlorine is just gonna cover that. It don't. So immediately anyone I saw in there, I was like, this is just not for me. So I came out and I went back to the jacuzzi, but by the time I got back to the jacuzzi, I had finally peeped some fine shit. And this man was so gorgeous. Like, he really should not have been there. It was just crazy, crazy visual. But I was very happy with what I saw. Dark skin, very stacked, very built like a football player, but like a thinner football player. He had so much ass. He had longer hair. He was just a beautiful black man. And I did not expect to see that in there. But immediately I said, okay, this is the one. Like, I want that. And the confidence arose out of me, because usually I'm not the one that will come up to someone, but I said, hey, what's up? I was like, damn, is this your first time here? And he was visiting. And I said, would you like to spend some time with me? And he said yes. And he said yes very excitingly. So I was just immediately just happy. So I get back in the jacuzzi. He comes in with me, and his dick is like an arm. And I was just playing with it at first. I sat him down on one of the staircasings that's there, and I just immediately got to work. I had to pull out the skills. So this night I did not prepare to bottom. I don't bottom at all, but I've been trying to get back into it. I really do just want to get cracked. I feel like it's time. I've been kind of holding off on it because I'm someone that prefers to be in a relationship when it comes to bottoming, because I don't want someone to just try to take advantage of me. I've had a lot of sexual assault, so bottoming for me is just not something I would willingly give away. But now, in this present day time, I'm trying to engage in that. I'm trying to open that up, because I feel like for me, that is something that will help me engage in a deeper level of pleasure that I haven't felt yet. Especially knowing what I know from the top side, knowing how good the pleasure has gotten, I would like to know what the bottom side feels like. Because there got to be a reason why all y'all bottoms. There got to be a reason why all y'all bottoms. But this man definitely could have topped me. He was just gorgeous in all ways. He had a lot of masculinity. He had a trade vibe. He was very smug and cool and sexy about it. I just said, this man is what I want. When it comes to this is what I'd be looking for. But yeah, so we just back and forth were putting our lips on each other. And then at one point he whispered in my ear, he said, "Can I fuck you?" And I said, I would let you fuck me. However, I have not douched, and that is not something I engage in. So that was unfortunately off the table, and I was very upset about it. I cried a little bit inside. But then he said, "Oh, do you want to fuck me?" And I said, because this guy didn't give me that he was versed, but I think that one of the things about me that is very charming is that, for one, I come across as very shy, so I feel like people are more willing to just try new things with me because they know I'm not about to abuse them. So or also I'm just sexy too. I'm fully naked. My dick is also an arm and was longer. And when you with the vibes, you with the vibes. So I was like, okay. So we have a little moment in the jacuzzi area. People are watching, and for me, that being watched always is my thing. So we have our moment, and then he's like, "Oh, you want to walk around for a little bit?" So we walk around, but I let him have his space, and I let me have my own space because I still wanted to explore the space. Did not finish. So I was walking around, seeing the space. Steamworks is huge, y'all. Steamworks is a big place because I think there was 3 floors altogether, and at the top is a gym. So I was just walking around, looking at everything, checking everyone out. I said, "Oh, this is nothing I've ever experienced before." It feels like a different world, honestly. You feel like you're in a Black Mirror episode, because it's just a bunch of people with towels just walking around in black hallways. So I was a little bit I was a little bit nervous because I was just "Oh, I hope no one doesn't pull me or anything." So I was just walking around. There's dark spaces where it's a dark room where they have enclosed, they have glory holes and stuff. I said, I know this place gets wild for holidays, so I will be back for a holiday for sure. Like, I will be back. Because I need to get into that. And I only want to go when people from outside of town are going to be there, because I can just only imagine. It's like probably the most trash experience going there, like on a day-to-day where there's just people from the neighborhood that you don't care about seeing, or old people. And there's nothing wrong with older people, but, you know, look at me. Like, let's talk about that. But yeah, I was just walking around, and then at one point I went down a hallway. I was turning the corner, and someone immediately grabs me by my arm. I'm just like, oh, and I said, okay, you can be grabbing me, but are you cute? So this Latin boy, I won't say Latin boy, he was like around my age. He was like about 31. But this cute Latin man pulled me into his room, and I said, oh. I said, ooh, he's sexy. I said, hey, ooh, you're so sexy. So we start kissing and we make out. And then I asked him, oh, can I eat your ass? And he said, oh, I said, oh, this man has had a night. So I said, no, actually, I don't want to do that. So then he proceeds to suck me and give me an okay time. Oh, someone's calling me. We had a cute time. It was fun. It was the vibes. It was everything. But I was like, this is also not the one. So I left and went to sit down in the foyer, where it's like the staircase, and then there's just rooms on this side, but then there's a staircase right here that goes to the third floor and the first floor. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like, with my legs open, just vibing. They have porn on the TV, so I'm watching that and just vibing. As people walk by, they're like giving me compliments and stuff, and I was like, okay, this is a little confidence booster. But yeah, I just sat there, and then out of nowhere, this fit white man comes and just immediately drops to his knees and starts sucking my dick. And I said, you know, did not plan on this, but he's also very attractive. So he gets to it, but immediately I'm like, hold on, what's going on? I said, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of friction going on down there, and I feel like that is not correct. So, you know, sometimes at these things, I feel like people be on drugs, and a side effect of rolling is a lot of people clench their jaw. So I feel like he did not realize that he was clenching his jaw. So I said, yeah, this is not gonna work. This is not gonna work. I said, stop. And at that moment, I see the dark-skinned fine shit walk by, and he comes over and he's like, he wasn't doing it right, huh? And I said, not at all. And he said, well, I got you. And got on his knees, and boom, pop, crack, pop, like all that shit, like fireworks. I was just in heaven. Like, it was a beautiful time. But yeah, how I would rate the experience, if we do an out of 10, it was a 7 out of 10. The reason why I give it a 7 out of 10 is because outside of the fine shit that I saw, and there was 2 other black guys that were cute, it really wasn't too much of my vibe in the area. So once again, I feel like on a holiday weekend, or when like some real shit is happening in Chicago, I would go back when the lines be long and stuff. But yeah, for a first time, I can't complain. Very beautiful experience, and I'll be back. I will be back. But if you enjoyed this video, please let me know. Let me know if you've ever had a Steamworks experience. Please like and subscribe. Like, we need that. At least subscribe. I don't care if you don't want to watch my content. Like and subscribing will always help me out, and always will make me want to continue to do this, because I have a lot of stories and also a lot of experiences to talk about, and I really want to dive into that and really give that. I have a cute little I was trying to give a little leather moment, because I'm trying to get into it a bit more. I feel like I feel sexy in it, but also it just feels good to wear it. Even when I've been go-going recently, this has been like kind of the vibe. So yeah, let me know if there's anything you would hold on, let me let this focus. Let me know if you would like me to talk about anything else, if there's any topics that you ever worry about. If you want to do a question time, I actually would like to do a Q&A. I think my next video might be a Q&A because I would like to answer some questions. Like, let's do that. I think I might do a Q&A like as a second video that I do throughout. No, I think once a month is cute. Once a month for a Q&A is cute. I'll do once a month. So I think my next video, since that'll be my 4th video, will be a Q&A. So I love y'all. Thank y'all for supporting. I appreciate everyone that supports me. I'll see y'all later.